Hi guys, I'm Ashif Ali and you're watching CGHOW video, and today we will make this cool energy burst effect in Unreal Engine Niagara. I will make every element from scratch step by step. You will learn everything in this. Each element you can use. You will learn in this, and you can use differently with parameters, so you can make it. You can modify the colors and everything in this effect, and we will see a little bit how to optimize this effect. So let's dive in and let's start this tutorial. So let's just start it. So I have this map, and here I will make this effect. Let me just hide it. Cool. So I'll right click and I want to make a material. So I will make and I'll call it red ring. I'll create a Fresnel kind of ring, but you can use mesh if you need. So like if you have a Fresnel here, and let me make this unlit and translate two sided, or maybe single sided. If you use it here, so it will be a Fresnel like this, and you can reduce this value and use some power. I want same look, but I want to use Sprite instead of mesh. Although you can use mesh, but I will avoid it for now. So I want this look. So what I'll do, I'll take a radial, and first thing, without a sphere, we need a sprite, a planar. So basically, we have this, and this is a radial. So what I want it to fade inside and should be a little sharper from the outside. What I'll do, I'll copy and paste it, and I will invert this one. So if I preview, this will be black from here and white from outside, and this is white from inside. And then I will just multiply these together and see how it looks. Looks cool. So this one is very soft from here, so I will increase the density to make it sharper. Maybe let's try 20. Yeah, it's now a little sharper, but this is both are actually big. So I'll make a common parameter for the both, and default radius is 0.5, we will see. So I'll just make it maybe 0.3 or maybe 0.35. Yeah. So this is what I need, but maybe not that much sharp from here. So I can decrease this, or you can make just a parameter to do that. And then if you want this black little more bigger, you can make this separate radius. So this is 0.35, you can make it 0.5 or more 0.4 or zero point 0.3, whatever you want. Then you can check if it's working or not. Okay, so this is what you can do. Then I want to distort a little bit, and actually I want two layers, one like this and one distorted. So let's make parameters for this. So I'll call this parameter, and this is my density. And then I have I need two radius, so I'll just call it R1 and R2. R1 and R2. Cool. We can set default settings like 20, this will be 0.35, this will be 0.4 for now. And then I'll go to particle color. This will be directly connected here. And this thing, this ring, I will use as opacity. Cool. Now I'll just save it. And then I will make a Niagara. Empty. NS energy blast. So first thing I need here, let me make a space. I'll need a minimal emitter, and I'll just call it ring. And then just drag it here and select your material, and then select it here. Then we need particles, of course. So I'll use burst one particle, and it should just spawn once. So we have this particle. And what I want it to scale. First, let's go here and let's set the color. So I'll use this direct color, maybe bluish like this. And with the dynamic parameter, you can totally edit this. And you can also edit it in update. So you can use curve. Like this is 20, this is 0.35, and this is 0.5. So now you can animate these values. You can animate this value like this, or you can animate this value to make it fit softer. Initially, maybe this is harder, then it becomes softer like this, and you can animate these values. So let's say this is around 50, and then I'll decrease it. Let's use it actually. So I'll use a curve here. So curve, initially it should be like 50, and then at the end it should be like 2. So if I now play, let me also set the live like this. Cool. Then we can take the size and use a curve like this. I'll just move this and make it like this. So because I'm using curve here, so there should be initial size. I'll just set it. It's now 10. Let's make it 20. And make it little quicker. Like this. Actually, it should be like at quickly, and then at 1 should be 1.2. And then I will also animate this value, which is 0.34 right now. So initially 0.34, and at the end I'll make it 1. But I will make this curve like this, so it will start changing from here like this. Cool. And I think we can make the size a little more bigger at the end, maybe 1.5. Yeah, we can smooth this also. Yeah, looks cool. I'll make this local and then just drag it into the viewport. It's very small. My mouse is not working today, so last right click having some issue. So you can just reset it to play it again and again, but this is very small. See, it's very small. So let's make this like 220. Let's make it 200. So now we can see. Cool. And see, we will also work on the optimization of this. So because this is radial and it looks on this flat planar, so this area is extra. We can cut it through this. You can go into the cutout, and if you're using texture of this shape, then you can just enable this. It will take the texture from your material, and if not, then you can put a texture here. So I have already some radial textures like this, so I can use it. Then it will ask you what channel you want to use. Let's say red channel, and see, now I cut it that. Okay. And if you increase this value too much, like this much, so it will cut your texture. So don't do that. You just need to check your values. Okay, cool. Now I want a different version of this, but that should be a little distorted maybe. So for that, we can use the same material and make parameters, or we can duplicate this. Let's duplicate it for now. Ring 1. So in ring 1, what I'll do, I have these radiuses, whatever these are. So what I'll do, I'll take the, you can take the Lerp, and this R1 will be a B, and this will go into radius. And then I'll copy this, and same I will do with this. And this second radius that I will connect here, this is my second radius, will be distorted radius, and this will be same for both. And now depends on the alpha, it will change that, but in alpha I'll put a texture. So if I texture like any texture you have, I'll take the blur noise I have, this one, And first thing, I want to make it a radial kind of thing. So I'll use vector to radial, and you can just actually multiply for the tiling. And then I'll use two vector to change the tiling in X and Y separately. So I'll make the X maybe 5 and Y is 0. So it will be like that. If I make the Y1, you will see how it looks. But I want 0 because I just want these straight lines. And there's also a seam that you can see here. So you can just avoid that. So you have this, right? Now depending on these colors, I'll connect these here, these shades actually. I will have this distorted radius and I'll show you how it will work. So I'll just save it. And let's browse this. And here I'll duplicate this, isolate this and change the material. Now if I stop it somewhere, let me go here. And we have this distorted radius which is 0. Let me make it uh, 0.5. So you can see how it will work. This is how it will work. Okay. I want more tiling actually here. So I'll just make it like 20. Okay. And I'll just save it. And now you have more tiling here. Okay. Now what I'll do, I want this one to be, this one actually, density should be really, actually I don't want curves here. Let me reset these all. So this is let's say 0.5, this is 0.3, this is 0.4 density. So you have this, okay? And let me just reset it for now. Okay, so you can see how it's working. Although if you don't want to reset it, let me just copy texture again. What you can do, if I paste that again, is cutting it, you can just decrease this value. So you have to check how much you need. Okay, so for now I'll just delete it because my radius is touching the edge, although you can decrease the radius. Okay, so now with this value you can see you can change this radius like this and increase this. This is radius, this is the density. I think I will change the opacity in this one. So now I can make this one like this. Actually, what I need is I want to make it thinner. So I want the density for this also. So let's say I want the same density for both because what I want is not coming. So let me just tweak the same density. Yeah. So now if I decrease it, now this is like 0.4 and this is like 0.3 and increase the density. Yeah, this is what I want. Now you can decrease the alpha back to 1 and you got this. You can make it a little brighter although. So if you'll see both layer together and we need to change the size to match. And this is going behind that. So I'll go here in the rendering and shorting 1 and then I'll go back here and change the size to match around here. Okay, now you can play with this. You can decrease this density a little bit and it will look cool. Now it will match. Yeah, it's now matching and it's going like this. And yeah, it looks good. Although life is too much, we can decrease this to maybe 0.3. 0.3. It should be like that. I'll make this maybe 0.5. Cool. Now I want to make more lines here. So let's make a. Okay, so yesterday we were making this effect, but due to power cut, I couldn't finish this tutorial. So today I will do. So we have these element, and now I want to make add more lines here. And to add lines, there are lots of ways to do. You can make material, or you can do in particles. So if you want to do it in particles, and your effect is not like 3D, it's just sprite, and you want just lines from the torus. And if you want to make it 3D, you can use a sphere. So how you do that? Let's say you have, let's duplicate this, and I'll call it streaks. Okay. So in this one, I'll delete this sprite render and I'll take this again. So it will come with this default material. And if you have like 100 particles and you have this shape location, and then you have torus, let's make this 0. And let's add velocity from point. Let's say 100. Okay, so now I'll make the size, maybe we can stretch it, but it should be velocity aligned. So they will all output like this. So this is torus, so it will be one-sided. And if you want all-sided, you can go with the sphere like this. Cool. So let's say I use a sphere, and first let's change the size to like 555. And this is because I want to check the radius of a sphere, and I don't want inside particles. So for that, I'll just make this surface, and now it's just the edge. Now we can change the size, but when I want these, I want these around here. So let's change the size to around here. And now we can change the size here. So we can stretch these. And this also going inside because the pivot point is here. So you can offset that like this, or go inside more. Like I will do it around this. Then I'll make it 1.1, and we can increase these particles if you want. And I'll think I'll change the size like this. So if I play, this is how it will go. Cool. I'll increase the velocity a little more, not that much. And also let's make the life random 0.3 and 0.5. Cool. So now here, if you see, we have these. And just to make a variation, you can duplicate these streaks. Decrease the spawn rate like 50 and increase this maybe like 150. And also these should be faster, of course, and the life should be maybe 0.3 and 0.2. So there will be now this. Even I think life should be shorter like this. Cool. Now I want to make something like a rays or flash and a glow inside it. So let's make, let me save all. And if you want a radial and you want edges different color and core different color, you can do that inside material also, and you can do that in particles. So if you want to do that in particle, what you can do, let's say you want to duplicate any ring here, and I'll call it glow. Okay. And I'll delete this pattern, take it again, so it will come with this. Okay. And let's say this glow is red. And now let me change the size maybe. Now I want this red to be orange in the center. So what I can do, I can duplicate it one more time, and this time I'll make it orange, maybe a little more bright, not that much, just two, and change the size maybe 100 or 50 like this. Okay, but to do it a cool way in material that looks really cool, what you can do, let's go to the material. I'll take radial glow. And what I'll do here, instead of taking radial, which is this radial exponent, I'll not use it. Let's make material translucent and let's add it. I will not use this. This doesn't look cool, but I will use it for the mask. So what I'll use here, I'll use texture coordinate. Then I'll multiply by 2 and then subtract 1. And why I'm doing it? This texture coordinate starts from here. I want it here. So after doing this, this will be here, this point. Then I want length because this is 0 and this is 1, 1, 1, minus 1. So all the side is same, like 0 to 1 or 0 to minus 1. So if you take the length, it will give you that radial. Okay. Now with that radial, if I'll use a lerp and I want this core to be orange, so I can put that in A, which is black, and I want outer part, sorry, red. So I'll make it red and connect. And if I preview, this will be orange to red. And now we can use this thing to multiply with this, so it will cut it out. So we will have this cool glow. And you can increase the brightness of this maybe 5. And you can also go here and add a power to control it. So if you will increase this yellow will increase. If you decrease this value, the redness will increase. 2, redness will increase. So this is the way. So what I'll do now, particle color, although I don't need that now, I'm using the color. And then I'll use this same radial just for the opacity. I hope this is clear to you. Okay. So I'll just save it. And I'll use this material in a single emitter, so I don't need 2 emitters. So I'll just browse this, and here I delete this. I'll just change it from this, and I don't need color here. Now we have 2 colors, and still this looks cool, faded. Size maybe a little bit more. Let me just check the size. Yeah. Although you can increase the alpha if you want, so it will be like darker, like this. If you want, you can do that. Okay, I'm just showing you, so I don't need that. 1 is enough. Now I want something like flash kind of rays in the center, and I'll use the same color, orange and red. So what I'll do, let's duplicate this material. I'll go M rays. Let me save all. Let it be whole thing. I'll just multiply my rays. I will use the same colors. So what I'll do, you can use a texture if you have. So let's say you have texture. If you don't have texture, you can use this noise. Okay. So let's say you have texture and I have this aura. You can use any texture. And then I'll use the power here just to make it more contrast. Then to make it raise, I'll use vector to radial. And just for tiling, I'll multiply it and then connect it here. And then for separate, and if you want to remove this edge, you can go here and make label. Now to separately edit the tiling to vector, and I want like 5 on X and 0 on Y. So these are all rays. If you want like some values in Y, it will be like this, or maybe just little bit. So there will be some variation if you want, and I'll make like 10. So I have this, and if I just multiply it with the opacity here, so everything will be same. It will just cut that glow color into rays like this. And I want this core to be more bright. So what I'll do, I'll make it like 50. Make it. And if this is having issue because we are editing this black, what I can do, I can actually go reverse. I can put this here, put this here, and then invert this and then use power. So this way we can have more control. Like at 1, this is how it looks. And if I increase this value like 10, so now yellow will be more centralized like this. You can add panel here if you want. You can decrease the tiling if you want like this. So let's save it. Let's check this. How does it look? Now I'll select this, I'll duplicate my glow and you can call it raise. Oh, I should not crash my engine. I have done 2-3 things. It should not crash, hopefully. So while it's compiling, if you like this tutorial, you can hit subscribe button. So thank God it doesn't crash. So now raise, I'll just change the material. And then if I'll preview, we have this and I'll change the size and also life, maybe 0.2. And I'll also make the shorting maybe 1. So it will be like on top of everything. Life maybe 0.3. Yeah. These should actually dissolve. So to dissolve this all thing, what you can do, I'll go to the material. We don't have anything for dissolve. So let's say I'll use power here and then a dynamic parameter and let's call it dissolve. You can use subtract if you want, you can use power and they will be little different, but they will do eventually the same thing. Let's here. Let me check first our values. So we have dynamic parameter. I'll reset all the values. We just need this dissolve actually. So this is at 0 and if I decrease you can see it's decreasing it like this. So default value I'll use 1, then the final value I will use 6. So I need a curve here. Default value 1 and last value 6. So if I now play and I want this curve like this, so this should be visible properly. You can make this 0.3. So at 0.3 life it will be same. Cool. Now one more thing I will do is I think this look cool. Let me just see one by one here and I'll go here actually and turn off the background. Now we can see one by one how it's going. So these particle I don't want at this time. So these streaks should be around here. So 0.18. You can see my cursor here 0.18. So I'll put the delay here or you can put the time here 0.18 for both 0.18. So they will spawn at this point and these streaks will have more velocity and I think more size. Yeah. And I'll make the life maybe 0.2, 0.1 and this one also maybe, yeah. It's more like thickness is too much. Yeah, so this is all the elements, but you can of course increase or decrease the things and you can make this look cool. Let me just do some timing things and this will be look good. We can just check it here. What I'm missing here is this thing. This should be little more bigger. 1.2. 3. Yeah. Yeah, now this looks fine to me. these rays going good. This glow should have actually more light, and it should scale quickly starting. Not that much light. And there should be a scale color. This should fade actually after 0.5. Yeah, now it's much better. And I will reduce these streaks. This should be like 100, 50, and this should be like 20. Yeah, it's much better. One more thing I'll do. I'll duplicate this ring which has this spike kind of thing. And what I'll do here, if I stop it somewhere here, go to dynamic parameter, I can distort it trace, and there's a density I can reduce this much, and it should be like this. And I'll reduce the alpha. Let's make this 1, and we can reduce this also. So we have this, and I'll make it little more bigger, maybe 2. Yeah. Maybe 4 and 3. 2 is enough. Yeah. And it should also fade actually at the very end. So after 0.7, it should fade. Yeah. Now it looks little impactful. And I hope you liked it. Thanks for watching. Keep learning, and bye-bye.